And they are going to do a detailed analysis on 3 people in the audience. Now, we're choosing these 3 people from complete random. The only thing I ask you is, whoever gets the yellow card for this particular clairvoyant, they require your name. No, hold on, is it your name? They require your birth date. They require the approximate time. I may as well do the bit, eh? Your birth date, the approximate time of birth, and where you were born. And please don't say in bed with Mum. You've got to say exactly, for example, in my case, I was born in North Fitzroy at 9:05 on a Saturday morning, 23rd of July, 1947. That's just the yellow one, though, just the yellow one.
Okay,
so there,
right.
Pete.
Okay, just at random.
Yeah, just at random, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Well, Pete, whilst you're down there, would you like to try the old clairvoyant bit that you and I used to do?
Certainly do.
Okay, well, I'll close my... Don't give them out yet. Oh, give them out now. No, just saying, give them out now, Pete, if you want to.
Hello, darling, you can have
Not
one
too...
too.
Yeah, right.
Just hang on a sec.
Now, the yellow one... The yellow one needs... We need your information of birth date, birth time, and also birthplace. Right.
Right.
Who claim they can foresee the future. 1, 2, 3. Hello, Kevin Arnett, if you're watching. But how much of what they say is hocus pocus, guesswork, and mumbo-jumbo? Tonight we have not 1, but 3 psychics who are currently here in Australia, all of them, for the first annual Psychic and Holistic ESP Fair. And don't forget, keep buying those raffle tickets. They're here to demonstrate some of their claimed abilities. So please make welcome Simon Turnbull, Garry Wiseman, and Adrienne Kane. Welcome. Simon, firstly to you, could you explain clairvoyancy to us?
Well, clairvoyancy is tuning into your own feelings, your own intuition, and using logic to balance it out so that you don't make mistakes. With logic you can make mistakes quite easily. It's guesswork. With intuition, it's your feelings as well, and you can't always balance it out if you go either extreme. You've got to have a balance there.
Has everybody got it?
Everybody's got it, yeah.
So it's just a case of then exercising it?
Yeah, and trusting it. The whole thing is to be able to feel that you're not going to make a mistake. I mean, that's guesswork intimates, sort of creates an anxiety, and anxiety is not a good thing to have with psychic things.
Garry, when did you realise that you had this? Well, you were able to build upon this inborn ability.
Well, I just started doing astrology about a decade ago, and after 2 or 3 years, I started to find I was reading the charts more psychically, more intuitively, and it just sort of grew from that. And I used the tarot cards. It grew out of an interest in astrology.
Mm. Did it worry you when you realised first?
A lot of people think it is, ooh, and all that, but it's a very natural thing. And when it happened this in my life, it was such a natural thing, and I think it's something missing. If people aren't using their intuition, it's just like sewing up your eyes with needle and thread and saying, I'm not going to use my sense of sight because it's somehow scary and a bit hard to control, and it doesn't really exist anyway. But in fact, as Simon said, we are all psychic, and I mean, everybody's had an experience of walking down the street and you think of someone and then they are, and knowing when the phone's going to ring, it happens every day.
When you're in the bath.
Yes, a hell of a lot. Adrienne, what about your experiences?
Anyone's in particular, or just...
Yours, particularly. What was your first experience in this area?
My first experiences were in meditation. I practiced meditation a lot and just started tuning into inner dimensions, inner feelings, places that I had never paid attention to that were beyond just my mental thoughts. Feelings in my mind is the only way that I can describe it. And then some of my initial experiences with psychic abilities were skepticism. I used to sort of laugh at my friends that were interested in yoga and meditation that were also into astrology and such things until I exposed myself to it and had some readings done and suddenly realized that the same places that I was touching in my mind were the things that these people were using to do readings.
Simon, your special field is telepathy, isn't it?
That's correct. Yeah.
So would you mind telling me, please, my next question to you?
No, where's the script?
No, I was going to ask you, that could be a very embarrassing power to have.
Well, you use it sparingly, and it's no fun using it all the time because, you sort of, you lose the surprise factor.
Isn't it possible, though, for someone to I mentioned before hocus pocus, and I don't mean that in any derogatory fashion, but isn't it possible for a phony to almost appear to be someone with special powers? I mean, for example, we've never met before, but I feel that there could be somebody in your life whose name is Robert or Bob, who's very close to you. Is there someone called Robert or Bob who's close to you?
I'd like to say yes, because I want to stay friends with you. But it's not...
No, as I say, you see, the people who try and use that as... You can run out of luck, can't you? I mean, with anybody, I guarantee there's somebody called Robert or Bob who's... My God, you can get through water. That is your third time.
Nervousness.
No, please don't be nervous.
Bob Hawke is your Prime Minister. There you are.
Right.
Yeah, you see, well, he's very close to everybody. You must be one of the 78%.
Love him.
The rest are out of the country, obviously. What about experiences of, getting back to telepathy, when you really can feel what another person is thinking, and that thought is not pleasant?
Well, you either act on it and do something about it, or tune out. In fact, the best way... Everybody's using telepathy unconsciously. It's the conscious factor that makes it worthwhile. So, if it's something unpleasant, you tune out. Because by tuning out of somebody, not thinking of somebody, you effectively control them, you see? You stop them from doing anything to you. Because before anyone can hit you or shoot you or something, they've got to think about it first, right? If you can stop them from tuning into you, then you've got it under control.
Let's get to our audience members who took the cards for this evening. Now, who's taking... There was red, yellow, and... What was the third colour? Blue. Now, we'll go to red first. Who had red, please? Would you mind standing up, please? Just stand up, please. Please stand up. No, don't change it. Just please stand up, love, if you don't mind. No, okay. Now, this is Adrienne's chance.
Yes. Let me ask you, would you tell me your name, just your first name and your birth date, so I can get a little bit of a key in on you?
And I was born 18th of 2nd, 66.
Okay. I can tell partly just by the looks of you and also by your aura that you have a tremendously creative aura, and only a portion of it has opened up so far. So that you know it's in there. You know there's a lot of creative talent that wants to come out. Not just, let me say, not just creative in the sense of using your hands, which is one of the ways that you may have shown it already, or the desire to do that, but some kind of creative expression, theatricality, or way of showing yourself to people that wants to come out. Now, I can't exactly see what area it would come in, but I would have to say it would come in terms of public contact. Not so much, as I said, in terms of using your hands or doing something with your hands, but in terms of contact with people. And I also see that as it's pushing through with you, there's a little bit of frustration where you're trying to find out where to put that thing, where to put that energy. And so sometimes you take things in your life and or relationships especially, and try to sort of push that energy through there, and that's not exactly where it's trying to go to.
Is that true of you as a person? Can you relate to that?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, we've got...
But it's still trying to push through.
the blue, where is the blue, please? The blue? Please just stand straight up. Thank you. Who's in charge of blue?
Okay.
Simon.
Here. All right. With you, I get... what did I have? I had... yeah, right. Lots of opportunities right now, but trouble with balancing your finances. But you're letting things happen naturally. You're not trying to force things. Now, 6 months ago, you became very serious about an opportunity, a major opportunity, which occurred for you in the last 2 weeks, very, very recently. Now, in the next 2 weeks, what you're going to do is you're going to go very easy on it, okay? Because you don't want to miss up this big opportunity, right? And there's a little problem, little anxiety with the health situation. You shouldn't have it, and not only yours, but a man close to you. Okay, you shouldn't have it. Okay, and the final bit is that you're focusing on something you realize you're positive about it. You realize you have to wait. The Chinese used to say, waiting is not based on mere empty hoping. In other words, for you to be waiting for something, intuitively inside you, you know that it's worth waiting for.
Now, is that true of you?
Part of it.
Yeah. Have you had any health problems at all?
No. Oh, I had bronchitis.
Well, that can be very serious.
Well, don't worry about it. And the final thing is an agreement is being set up right now. It's something you want as an end result, and you're going to get it. It'll take you 3 to 6 months.
Right. Simon, what's the significance with the cards? Why the coloured cards?
It was just an easy way to make sure that we weren't rigging it.
Oh, fine. Okay, right. The yellow card now. This is the important one where I asked for the birth date, the birthplace, and the birth time. Would you please stand up, sir? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bert.
And this is your specialty, Garry, isn't it?
Yeah. Could I have your name, please, sir?
The name is Bill
Bill who?
Anderson.
Bill Anderson, right. from Wellington, New Zealand. I drew up your astrology chart, Bill, and...
How do you know from Wellington, New Zealand?
That was the
oh, of course.
details.
I beg your pardon. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Oh, my God, he's good, this bloke. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I beg your pardon. I'll let you go back to your brother.
I thought you were his brother.
Bill, there are a lot of, I see a lot of potentials for you in your life. I feel you have a lot of talents, and you may not have fully explored them, but I'd like to just emphasise some of the talents that you have. You have a vivid imagination, and you really ought to try and invent things. You have an instinct for design, and it would be very good for you to have some kind of like making things, using, as I say, a vivid imagination. There's a little bit of a Leonardo da Vinci lying latent within you. It's also very important for you to have music in your surroundings.
Give him some of that wattle.
Yes. You don't look like Leonardo to me, but I suppose then again, are you artistic in your approach to life?
Well, I have played the old comb and the bit of toilet paper.
Yeah. Well, I've got a comb here, but unfortunately, yeah.
If you really want to develop the musical side, it is very, very strong, and it's good for you to have music in your environment. I feel that you're a very kind person, Bill, that sometimes you let people use you. And you're someone who doesn't like being restricted. You don't like being tied down. It's good for you to have work where you make your own hours and you're not sort of have tremendous responsibility and a boss breathing down your neck. And I feel at the moment perhaps there are some restrictions in your life, and it's time for you to make changes. I feel there's very big, you're entering a period of change later this year. For the next 2 to 3 years, there's quite a strong, it's a time to make changes in your life. You've let things go on just a little bit too long. Restrictions are building up, and you need to let go of them.
Pardon me, Garry, is that true of your life, Bill?
I'd have to say out of 100, he'd be 101%. Right.
Really? What, you want to make changes to your life?
Well, we'd have 50% on the previous colleague. I felt that he was actually reading my mind at the same time as he was predicting the future for her.
Well, perhaps your vibes are very strong, if you'll pardon the expression, because there is a thing such as vibe with the aura and all that sort of jazz, isn't there?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, there you are, Bill. Obviously, you'd like a copy of that, would you? A copy of the chart that's been done for you?
Yes.
Right, okay, $35, thanks.
I'd like to know how much you've used those potentials up till now, because as I stipulated, I feel that you haven't used them to their fullest yet.
Thanks a lot, Bill, and good luck. And whatever happens toward the end of the year, I hope that it's good news for you. And thanks to you folks. I hope that you enjoy the convention that's on, and it's been great to have you on the show. Many thanks.
Thank you very much.
We'll, just wondering, Adrienne, just before you go, whereabouts are you from?
I'm from San Francisco, California.
And how long have you been here in Australia?
I've been in Australia for about 10 days so far. I did the ESP fair here in Melbourne. We had it down the street from here about a week ago.
Well, you wouldn't have seen me before. Are you getting anything from me at all?
Yes, I already got some before we came in here. I can see how psychic and also how skeptical, critical your mind is, and that's how your psychic energy comes through, because you pierce through things. You look, you question,
Right. We're going to take this commercial break now.
I do want to make... Can we take a commercial break?
I beg your pardon. The Salvation Army's arrived. Sorry, Adrienne.
Can we take a quick commercial break right here and just say that we are having an ESP fair in Sydney at the Centre Point this next weekend, April 5th through 8th.
I can't find this anywhere, but I suppose it's okay for you to do it. Would you like to get to centre stage and get some wattle paint there? Yes, Denise?
I've got a question.
Certainly. When's your fate on?
No. I just want to know if any